Okay, guys, so let's talk about lab for a minute. And so here is your handout. You do need to read all of it, even though we're not going to be doing it together. And not only do you need to read all of it, but you need to go through these practice example problems here because those are going to help you with the next page, which is the pre-lab. And for the pre-lab, you are going to go through and you're going to answer these questions 1 through 4. I do need those handwritten. I'm not going to accept typed answers in any way. And I need it to be your work. In fact, as a part of it, the first statement I want on your lab report that you're turning in is the honor code statement. Now, the procedure is written here, and I think it's good for you to read through it. It is exactly what that lady did on the video, and so you should be fine with reading it and understanding it, and you can tell it's talking about getting that faint pink color. And then down here it tells you to repeat and then to do the calculations to calculate the molarity of NaOH from these titrations. There's one additional thing that I want you to do, so please listen carefully. Here's the data that I have given you, and you'll notice that there's 2 columns and they're right next to each other, and I want you to plot all of this in Excel because I want you to then figure out where the endpoint in the calculation is. And so down here at the bottom of this page is the data that you would have collected in lab if we'd been able to do it. So I am going to go ahead and do a calculation. I'm not going to use this data, however. So I want you to be able to do those calculations yourself. I strongly urge you to do your calculations in pencil. Pencil you can erase. Ink is a little more difficult. So my molarity of my HCl, I'm going to make it, let's make my molarity 0.350 molar HCl. And let's say my volume before a big pH jump for NaOH, well, let's say it was 12.35, and this is before. And then after the big jump, let's say it was 12.41. And then it asks you to then calculate the molarity of the NaOH. And I want to know the molarity of the NaOH. The other thing we need to know is how much did we add of our HCl to begin with. And if you go back here to the procedure, and that's why it's included, you're going to add 20, and so for your HCl, you're going to, or I'm sorry, you used KHP. So we're going to use KHP here. Sorry, I didn't read it carefully. KHP. And let's say that we added 0.950 grams of KHP. So we're going to start with that 0.950 grams of KHP. And I need to figure out how many moles I have of KHP. And so from the practice problems, if you do those, which is a good idea, you find that the molar mass of KHP, which is potassium hydrogen thiolate, a monoprotic acid that is a solid, is 204, making sure I got it right, 204.23 grams of KHP for 1 mole of KHP. So I'm going to take my calculator, and I start at 0.950 divided by 204.23 equals, and I get that I have, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in scientific notation just because that's a pretty small number, and I don't like having to deal with all the zeros at the beginning. So it's 4.65, and I'm going to carry an extra digit, so I'll carry an extra 1 times 10 to the negative third. So that is 4.651 times 10 to the negative third moles of KHP. So from the balanced chemical equation, NaOH plus KHP is going to give me H2O plus NaKP. And these are going to be 1 to 1. So my moles of KHP is also going to equal my moles of NaOH is equal to my moles of KHP. And so I'm going to have 4.651 times 10 to the negative third moles of KHP, or I'm sorry, NaOH. And if I know how many moles, how am I going to figure out the volume? Because I want to know molarity. Molarity is moles per liter. And so I need to use this data now to get my liters. And what you're going to do is you're going to average these two, or find the midpoint between these two. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them together and divide by 2. So 12.35 plus 12.41 equals, divided by 2 equals, let me get out of scientific notation mode. And I get, no, that is not right. 12.35 plus 12.41 equals, divide by 2 equals, there we go, 12.38. And that would be liter, or milliliters. 12.38 milliliters is equal to 0.01238 liters. So this number divided by that one, so 4.651 times 10 to the negative third moles divided by 0.01238 liters is going to equal 0.375, and I get that my molarity is 0.375, and then 6. I have 3 significant figures here. I have 4 here, so I'll have 3 in my answer. And that's molarity. And so that's going to equal 0.376 molar NaOH. Okay. So that's how you do the calculations. In your case, you have a concentration of NaOH. And so this is how I would do the pre-lab questions. How would I do the calculations at the end of the lab? Well, we know that the NaOH plus HCl yields NaCl plus H2O, so it's 1-to-1 relationship. And we know that our acid and our base, we're going to have volume and molarity. And for our base, our molarity is 0.1000 molar. And then from the data we're given, we can calculate out the volume of base by adding the two numbers together, 1 plus 2, and then that sum divided by 2. So you take the midpoint of that data, and then they give you the volume of your acid, which you would just put in here. And if you want to leave this in milliliters and this in milliliters, that'll be fine. And then you can calculate what the molarity is, because you would take the molarity of the acid times the volume of the acid would equal the molarity of the base times the volume of the base. And you are looking to find the molarity of the acid, so molarity of acid would equal molarity of base, volume of base divided by volume of acid. So hopefully it helps you out. Let me know if you need anything else.